Am I super late to posting a video? Yes, I am. But am I gonna post it anyway? Yes, I am. Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're gonna do a lot of catching up. It's been a while, hope you guys are doing okay. We're going to be going through my August budget. We're gonna be closing out a paycheck already because I'm slack that way. And I also wanna show you some new sticker kits that I have coming to my shop. So let's get into it. If this is your first time joining me, hi, my name is Emmy. I am a married person with 2 children, and I like to create budgeting content about my family's journey on how we plan to get out of over $200,000 worth of debt. That's not all consumer debt. A lot of it has to do with student loans in our house, but we still want to be completely debt-free. So I like to post videos on how we can save, how we budget our money into different sinking funds, things like that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please feel free to like this video and subscribe. We'd love to have you along our budgeting journey. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again. It's so good to see you. Long time no see. Leave me a comment so I know you stopped by. I need a sip of this boba tea before we get started. How have y'all been? It's been a very interesting start to the month for me. First of all, I got COVID. I have been vaccinated fully. I have avoided COVID for the past, 3 years almost, and I got it finally. And it hit me hard too. Like, it wasn't just this, oh, I lost my taste for a little while, or it's like a simple flu. Like, I was done. Like, I could not be bothered. I slept 20 out of the 24 hours of each day for about a week straight. It was really, really bad. So now that I am finally better, I have my voice back, I am no longer blowing my nose 24/7, I can finally make videos for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I wanted to show you, because this is what my August budget looks like right now. Super blank. I actually did a practice budget on an Excel spreadsheet and like a little scrap of paper, but I just could not be bothered to do anything in my budget book. First of all, because I just wasn't feeling up to it, and second of all, I didn't want to do it without filming, and I just couldn't film while I was sick. I just didn't want to put you guys through that croakiness. But I did design some stuff for August, and I wanted to show you. How cute! So for those of you who don't know, I do have an Etsy shop. I'll leave it linked in my description. But I design my own stickers, and I like to use my stickers to make my budget a little bit cute because it makes me want to look back at it. So I draw all of these doodles myself. So August happens to be the month where my kiddos go back to school, so I wanted a cute little back to school theme, and so I did like a chalkboard, an apple, some rulers and protractors, a pencil, and a little expo marker. I thought it was super cute, especially with their little faces on it. I thought it was adorable. So hopefully you guys like the design too. I know I'm gonna release this a bit late because some of you guys, like maybe August, your kiddos go back to school and it's already halfway through August. But maybe you could save it for September, or I don't know, maybe you just want to keep it for next time. So not only do I sell these washi strips, which I'm going to go ahead and lay down, I sell for the 8.5 by 11 size, which is like a standard US letter, but I also sell in the 7 by 9 size. And the washi strips comes with 2 thick washi and then 4 thinner washi in case you need to separate some things. And I do print on removable sticker paper, so if you make a mistake, it's easily peelable. I also sell my basic budget kit, and this is how I like to budget for me, and I lay out my budget through Paychecks, but you can use this same layout and budget it by week, budget it by month. It's really up to you. Because of these stickers and how removable and adjustable they are, you really can make it work for you. So we have income, bills, debt payments, expenses, and savings, and then there's a little summary box. So you can take a look at your month at a glance, your paycheck at a glance, your week at a glance. And just in case you have other names for these different categories, I do have scripts for you to cover up. So if you want to label a category sinking funds instead of savings, or if you want this to say rollover instead of leftover. Some people say cash envelopes instead of expenses, or they say variable expenses, whereas bills are fixed expenses. Anyway, so I'd like to make it as adjustable, and I want it to fit your budgeting styles. And yeah, feel free to take a look. Right now, I'm gonna lay these stickers down with you. So the first thing I do is I like to have my monthly view. I like to have that right after my monthly spread, which I do end up decorating this as well. I just can't be bothered to do that right now. So I'm going to start off with a sticker that says August budget, because this is my monthly view. And then next page, I like to do a weekly check-in, and I have that as well. And so this is where I go through and look at all of our weekly spending in the different categories that I keep track of, which are basically our cash envelope spending or variable expenses, but I just call them expenses. And we have 5 categories that I keep track of, and then 6 if you count unbudgeted expenses. So let me go through and lay all these down. And that's one sheet done. Doesn't it feel good when you like finish a sticker sheet? Ugh, feels great. So since I had COVID, I have been watching a lot of TV, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And recently I've watched this show on Apple Plus TV called Severance. If you guys don't know about that show, it is amazing. It has that guy who is on Parks and Rec. He's in a lot of like irreverent comedies, and he's really, really good in this. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Christopher Walken is in it, and John Turturro. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but it is just amazing. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but basically the general gist of the show is they're working in a time where you can go to work and you can get severed, which means that you don't remember anything about your private home life when you're at work. And then when you finish work, you go home and you don't remember anything that happens at work. So it's like you have this confidentiality of what's going on at work. They work at some top secret thing where they're not allowed to know what it is that they actually do for work. And it's pretty suspenseful. There's lots of like, oh, I think I know what's going on, and then you really have no idea what's going on. I love shows like that. So there's only 1 season out right now, and they've been approved for a season 2, but it hasn't started filming yet, and I am just on the edge of my seat every episode. It is so good. So check that out if you guys have Apple Plus TV. Severance. Really, really good. Okay, so I did my weekly check-in and I completely got sidetracked and didn't finish my August budget. I'll get to that later. Let me just go ahead and lay down the rest of my washi. So after the weekly check-in, I like to separate my paychecks. So I have another washi thing here. I can't believe it's time for back to school already. I mean, on the one hand, like, time is going by so fast, but on the other hand, I'm like, get these kids out of my house. Take them to school. Because they're so much. Like, I'm sure you parents out there get it. Like, you love your kids so much, you will do anything for your kids. But at the same time, you're just like, go away. give mommy time to herself, you know? You get it. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to grab some paycheck scripts. I'll be right back. I also sell these paycheck scripts on my Etsy shop, just so you can label them. So we got paycheck 1. I believe in August we have 3 paychecks. My husband gets paid once a month, and that is the 25th of every month. And then I get paid every other Friday, which is usually 2 times a month. So we have paycheck number 1, which is my husband's, paycheck 2, which is my first one. And then we have a paycheck 3. After paycheck 3, I like to have a spot for my sinking funds. So that's what I'm going to do next. Paycheck 3. And then sinking funds. Where's my sinking funds? Right here. Okay. And so the way I organize my sinking funds is I list them all out, their starting balance, how much I deposit, how much I withdraw each month, and then the ending balance at the end of the month. Okay, so I have 13 sinking funds. I'm going to leave 13 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I think I'll put one of these dividers just to add some more color. And then I put like a log, I guess, like a tracking log of all the sinking funds that we spend from. An expense tracker, that's what it's called. So I can keep track of which fund I'm spending from. And that's another sheet down, woohoo. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the rest of my stickers so that way you guys don't have to watch me lay all those down, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, it is actually a different day today. It is now Friday, August the 12th. I went ahead and laid down all my stickers, filled out all of my budget stuff, and then my daughter ended up waking up from her nap. My son came home from daycare. It was time to go ahead and get dinner started. So it's been a crazy couple of days, but now I finally have time to sit down and film. So I didn't want to bore you by going through all of the different transactions that we did because it was a lot and we went over budget and it was terrible. But what I do want to do is walk you through our paychecks so that way you know where we are. Paycheck number 1 goes from July 25th until July 28th, which is just a couple of days, but I wanted to go ahead and go through what that looks like for us. So let me zoom you in. I'm not going to go into too much detail about like the budgeting side because this already happened. This is very much in the past. So I just wanted to go over our actual numbers. My husband got paid as expected and we used $222 worth of sinking funds. So that was added into our income because that was savings that we used to pay for different things, which made our actual total income $3,485.80. In terms of our bills, everything came out as expected. So when I subtract the $298.63 from our income, we are left with $3,187.17. So I move that down to our next step payment, or our next table, which is debt payments. So braces, yeah, I actually was a candidate for Smile Direct Club and I was using those aligners for a while. And then after going through my entire treatment, my smile still was not quite right. It wasn't completely straight. It wasn't what was projected in my Smile plan. So when I contacted Smile Direct Club to ask for an updated set of aligners, they actually refused to service me. And I don't mean to like bash Smile Direct Club, because I'm pretty sure that it's a really great service for those who have minimal minimal things that are needed to fix their smile. But my smile is actually a very special circumstance. I have a small mouth, I have lots of crowding. And so what had happened is they should not have approved me to be a candidate in the first place. But they did. And since I already paid for my aligners in full when they weren't supposed to approve me, they gave me a refund for all of the aligners I paid for. And I still have a little bit more fixing to do. So I went into an orthodontic clinic, and our insurance happens to not cover adult orthodontal work. Orthodontal? I hope I'm saying the right words here. But, I decided on a whim to get braces, like the actual metal braces. So because of that, I thought I was going to have to pay something. So I went ahead and put down on debt payment, but I actually don't have to pay anything until September 1st. However, I do have this worked into the budget where once I get my refund from Smile Direct Club, I plan on putting a huge chunk of that towards these braces. It's not going to cover everything, but it is going to cover about half, which is great. Anyway, so 0 projected, and then it ended up we didn't pay anything at all. So it's still $3,187.17. Moving on to expenses. These are the cash envelopes that we do weekly check-ins for, but again, since I'm really late posting this video, I'm just going to show you the summary of what happened. Basically, we overspent in groceries a little bit, or food rather. We combine our groceries and eating out into one big category. And actually, I think what happened was this was a combination of groceries and eating out, because this happened to be the week that I caught COVID. So this is where it all started, and I just had to DoorDash everything. I had to do the Instacart grocery delivery, and all of those things come with extra fees. Food and items are overpriced to begin with on those apps, and so it just all accumulated into a lot of overspending in that category. My husband did really well. He stayed under budget with $10.60. I didn't spend anything from my allowance because I couldn't be bothered to even get out of bed, so I didn't buy anything for myself. The only one who filled up this week was my husband, because I couldn't go anywhere. And sinking funds, we spent $222, as I said before. So in total, we spent $590.88. So when we subtract that from what was left over, we're left with $2,596.29. The last category is our savings category. We have a save and go account with Wells Fargo, which is every time we swipe our debit card or a bill comes out of our checking account, the Wells Fargo people take a percentage of what is spent from our checking, and they use that percentage to move a little bit into our savings account. This is not anything we signed up for. It's just something that happened when we opened our checking account, but we don't mind it because we're basically saving money without really thinking about it. So since we didn't have a lot of bills come out this time around, I thought $1 would be saved, and that's right. They moved $1 into our save and go account. So I noticed that the past couple of budgets that I would budget to go into the negative, which kind of bothered me. I know, like, I try to tell myself in those videos, like, it's okay to go in the negative because at the end of the month, it's all going to balance out. But I don't want to budget going into the negative. I want to budget everything so it's all okay and, as positive as possible, I guess. And so part of the reason why I noticed we were going into the negative, especially in the second paycheck of every month, is because we went ahead and deposited money into all of our sinking funds at once. And if I kind of spread that out a little bit, then it wouldn't go into the negative in paycheck number 2. So we have $1,100 that's going into our sinking funds this month, but instead of putting all $1,100 right here in this paycheck, in this time frame, I only deposited $710 into our sinking funds, and then I will deposit the other $390-ish dollars a different pay period, a different time frame. That way we don't go into the negative for paycheck number 2. I hope that makes sense. Okay, it ended up from the penny savings challenge that I put $1.17 away. And when I rolled the dice for my dice savings challenge, because even though I didn't film, I still put money away. I put $12 from my $40 of allowance. I put that away in my dice savings challenge. So in total, we saved $724.17. I subtract that from what was left over, and we're left with $1,872.12. And I put my little sticker here to say that it's not a leftover. It is in fact a rollover into paycheck number 2. All right, so paycheck number 2, this is from July 29th until August 11th. Paycheck number 1 was a 1-week period, and paycheck number 2 is going to cover 2 weeks. So you'll notice that a lot of my cash envelope amounts are going to be much higher. So yeah, let's get into it. This also has already happened. So I'm just going to go into the actuals. So that's what was rolled over from paycheck number 1. My paycheck was a little bit higher than expected, about $13 more. My husband got a couple of refund checks because he made some purchases last month for his classroom. My husband is a teacher, and so when he makes purchases for his classroom, he submits those receipts to his school, and his school gives him a refund check back, so that way he's not spending any of his own money. All right, and then American Express, we use an American Express credit card because we found that it helps build our credit. We get rewards for spending on that card, and as long as we pay it off every day, or I like to pay it off every day anyway, then there's no harm in it. So this month, I expected us to get $25 back in American Express rewards, but we ended up getting $57.36, which is great. Every little bit of extra money helps. We didn't spend too much from our sinking funds this pay period. I expected we would spend $400, but we spent a lot less. And we got $38 worth of other income. This was put into a sinking fund for my son. He wanted to buy some Legos, and he wanted to use his own money to buy the Legos, but he was short just a few dollars. So I ended up using the kids' sinking fund for that, and then he gave me what he saved, which was $38, and I just paid the couple dollars that were different from the kids' sinking fund. So this is a different income because this was my son's money. I hope that makes sense. All right. So the total number for our income was $3,488.81. A whole bunch of bills. I'm not going to go through it all, but you know, the basic stuff. So there it is. The only difference is my son went to a summer camp. He is actually there today. For the summer camp, you can pick and choose when you want to go, so you don't have to go all summer. And so he went 1 week at the beginning of the summer, and then he is going this week as well because they were having a big back to school bash with lots of water things and a pool and inflatables. So I thought it was a good week for him to go. So that was $85 for the summer camp. Everything else is pretty close to expected. So if I subtract my bill total from what was the income, then we're left with $2,677.74. So next we have our debt payments, and so we have our mortgage, my Wells Fargo credit card minimum payment, and Capital One credit card minimum payment. All that was expected, so I subtract that from what's left over. We are left with $1,591.14. Moving on to expenses. So food, for eating out and groceries, I budget $230 for my family of 4 for 1 week. So 2 weeks would be $460. We way overspent. And again, this is a lot to do with the fact that I had COVID. My daughter also had COVID, but my son and my husband never got it. So my daughter and I were at home. I still had to do the grocery shopping. I still had to make sure all the kids were fed, even though I didn't feel like cooking or moving. So all of those extra fees, extra spending that I probably shouldn't have done, there it is. This is also when marching band started up again for my husband. He is a teacher, but he is a high school band director. That's his teaching job. And so this is when band camp starts up and where he does all of his spending. He spends a lot of money at gas stations or fast food places to get drinks or snacks. So he definitely overspent. Usually around marching band time, I like to up his allowance to $100 a week. So if I did up it, then it would have been fine. He would only gone over budget by a little bit, but I still kept it at $50 a week, and that was my mistake. So, but now I know that I need to up his allowance to $100 a week again because band camp is in full swing. For my allowance, I ended up spending some money on a couple of things. There were some times where my son was at summer camp or my daughter was at daycare and I just wanted to buy something for myself, like a lunch or a snack. And so I had things DoorDashed over, and that's what I spent my money on mostly. For gas, it was just my husband who filled up because, again, I couldn't really go anywhere, and he filled up twice. And then sinking funds, again, we didn't spend all that was budgeted. And then we had a little bit of unbudgeted spends. This was for my husband. He had to buy some things for band camp, and all of this will be reimbursed. So when you add all of that together, it is $1,588.40 worth of spending. And when you subtract that from what's left over, we are left with a $2.74 little itty bit. The problem with that is things still had to be saved. So, for example, the Save and Go account, whether we like it or not, money gets moved into the savings account. So $4 was moved into the Save and Go account. The $38 for my son, him paying for his Legos, that was deposited into sinking funds. I ended up not doing anything for the penny savings challenge because I spent basically everything on our credit card this pay period. I didn't really get a chance to use cash or even give my husband cash or get cash because it was just a COVID hectic time. And for the dice savings challenge, I ended up rolling the dice anyway, even though I didn't really have cash to put away. I still wanted to make sure I was doing that every week. So $22 from my allowance was put to the dice savings challenge. However, that means I overspent overall. Even though I spent $76.28, can you see that? Nope. Even though I spent $76.28 out of my allowance, which would put me under budget, because I took money for the dice savings challenge, I was actually over budget. Anyway, so all that being said and done, it is $64 put away towards savings. And if I subtract that from the $274 left over, we ended up going in the negative, $61.26. It's okay because we do have a little bit of a bank buffer. It's not as big as it used to be, but it still will cover $61.26, no problem. But this was not budgeted for. I don't like writing out my whole budget and then the budgeted amount be negative, and you'll notice that it's not. We just did a lot of overspending, and it was a lot that couldn't be helped. No one asked to get COVID, and there's really nothing I can do. I can't go to the grocery store when I'm in bed and contagious, so that was just a lot out of our control. So yeah. The good thing is a lot of the overspending, the unbudgeted spending, that will be reimbursed because my husband bought that. So I'm not too worried about going into the negative here. It will all be made up in the end. So that means finally, paycheck number 3, which is where we are today. Today is the 12th, and so this is where we're all starting. We're starting with a rollover in the negative, and I did get my paycheck today, which was a little bit more than expected. So here are some things that I'm budgeting for. I'm budgeting for this refund from Smile Direct Club. I didn't do any baking because of COVID. I haven't done anything. So if I get a last minute baking order, I might put some stuff here. But as of right now, I didn't sell anything this month. Rakuten, which is a money saving app. I'll leave my referral link in the description. But basically, when you do any online shopping, which we did, we purchased from the Lego store. We bought some things from, I don't know, a couple months ago, I bought some things online for my kids, like clothes and such. Anyway, it takes a percentage of whatever it is that you buy and you get cash back for it. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just a little cashback rewards program. And every couple of months, you get what they call a big fat check, and that goes into your bank account. So right now, my account has $32.74. So that's what I'm expecting to get from Rakuten. And again, a 2-week period, so I expect us to use $400 worth of sinking funds. Bills, nothing out of the ordinary, just a couple things. We do get billed for our trash pickup every 3 months, every quarter. So we don't usually have a bill for trash, but this happens to be the month where they bill us for trash, so I do have to pay for that. And as far as debt payments go, we have to pay for my husband's car, and this is where I wanted to put a good chunk towards the braces that I got. So I'm not using the entire refund from Smile Direct Club, but I am using a lot to pay off some of those expenses there. Food and all that expenses, these are just as budgeted, what it normally is per 2 weeks. So I should be left with $684.43 if we stick to the budget there. And finally, savings. Since there aren't a lot of bills going out this time, I only expect the Save and Go account to move over $1. Penny savings and dice savings, I never budget anything for. I just kind of whatever's left with the money in the expenses envelopes, then that's when I put stuff in the actual column. I plan on putting $50 away towards my Etsy business, just for supplies and, things like that. I plan to put $100 away to save up for a down payment for a new car for myself. And then this is where I'm going to put the remaining $390 of sinking funds, because we only deposited a certain amount at the beginning of the month. And so now that I got paid, I'm going to deposit the rest of the sinking funds. And then I plan on putting $50 away towards our Disney challenge, because I do want to take my family to Disney World pretty soon. I mean, not anytime soon, maybe within the next 2 to 3 years or so. So that's going away there, which means we plan on saving $591. Subtract that from what's left over, we will have a little bank buffer of $93.43. If we end up having a higher actual amount than that, I do want to put money away towards paying more off for my braces. I don't want to accumulate any more debt, even though I did. I definitely added to our debt by getting braces, but I'm 31 years old. I have a crooked smile, and I've always had a crooked smile, and my parents were never able to afford braces for me when I was young. And now that I'm an adult, I want to do something for me. It's something that I've always wanted, and I deserve to get something that will make me feel more confident in myself. My husband and my friends have been very kind, saying, they like my smile the way it is, but they support me in wanting to do what's going to make me happy, and this is going to make me happy. So, however, I don't want to stress out over a new monthly payment. So if we have anything left over, we're going to try to tackle that braces expense as quickly as possible. I guess what I'm saying is braces are the new priority one instead of the Capital One credit card. I should probably do another debt update, like where we are, because I haven't made one of those videos since I first started my channel, and that actually happens to be one of my more popular videos on my channel. I'll leave it linked up here in the cards if you're interested, but yeah, maybe I'll do a little debt update so you can see how our overall progress is going. But okay, that is everything. Phew, that took forever. So what we gonna do now is actually cash stuff, because mama doesn't have COVID anymore, baby doesn't have COVID anymore, and we can actually be responsible with our money. So let's be responsible with our money, shall we? I think when I started this video, I had a boba tea, and now it's a couple days later and I have a coffee. I just always need a beverage, I guess. All right. So what we gonna do is cash stuff. We're gonna actually be responsible. So all of my envelopes are empty, and I do have our cash here for what we have to stuff. Oops, we got a little bill hiding in there. Anybody else? Okay. So I'm actually going to stuff for 1 week. So basically take these numbers and divide them in half. That's what I'm stuffing, because if I stuff the whole amount of food into my envelope right now, then it's more likely that I'm going to spend a lot of it this week and then have nothing left for next week. And paycheck number 3 covers 2 weeks. 230 plus 50 for my husband plus 40 for me. And I'm not going to stuff anything for gas because we use our American Express credit card for gas. It gives us a lot of American Express rewards when we use our credit card for gas. So I'm not going to stuff for gas, just these first 3 categories. And math, what should that be? $320 is what we're stuffing. Okay, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 10, 20. $320 is correct. So let's just put that over here. Not too complicated, should be super easy. So for food, we're just gonna stuff the 230. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, and 30. $230 for food. Is that open already? Yeah. Okay. My husband is going to get $50, 20, 40, 50. And I will give this to him today. And for my allowance, I get $40. But before I stuff that, I want to go ahead and roll the dice for my dice savings challenge. Let's move this out the way for a minute. So this is my savings binder, and in my dice savings challenge, this is a savings challenge from Budget with Ira. And you get a 20-sided die, and whatever it lands on, that's how much of my allowance I'm going to put away towards savings. And then this savings is going towards an extra debt payment, which when I started this challenge is going towards my Capital One credit card. Maybe I should change it to my braces since it's now the first priority. Leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. Should I change it up? Because I haven't technically made a payment. Everything I've saved is still here in cash. Should I make a payment towards my credit card or give it to the braces? Let me know. Okay, here we go. We got our 20-sided die. Let's see how much I have to put away. Oh my gosh. Can you guys see that? 19. That's so much. Okay, so $19. I'm going to put 20 away and then get $1 back from this envelope here. That's sad. Okay, so that means I cross off a 19 here just so I know what I've already rolled. Oh, but hey, that's a lot towards savings. It is. This is all, by the way, if you were wondering what all this cash is, this is from my penny savings challenge, which I have from Rainbow Budgets. But all of my coins in my jar, it was getting really full. So what I did is I rolled up my coins and took it to the bank and exchanged them for bills. And so that's what this is. I just need to make an envelope to put all of my bills in. So that's what that's doing there. So that means I only have $21 to spend for my allowance this week. No ordering takeout, none of that. And by the way, before y'all come for me, this was paid for using my Starbucks rewards. So, or my stars rather. So I didn't pay nothing. This isn't coming out of my allowance. This was free. All right. All envelopes are stuffed. Put it away. And because I didn't use any cash, I don't have to do anything for the penny savings challenge, but I'm excited to do the penny savings challenge next week because we are using cash. Dang it. We got to go back to being responsible now that we ain't sick no more. All right, guys, that is everything for this week's video. I'm sorry it's been a long time coming. I'm sorry it's so long, but hopefully you guys got something out of it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.